Miami Beach, Florida, February 1964. Muhammad Ali was training for the biggest fight of his life. Sonny Liston, the most feared heavyweight champion in history. Everyone said Ali was going to get killed, said he was too young, too inexperienced, too small, said Liston would destroy him in minutes. But Ali kept training, kept preparing, kept believing when nobody else did. The training camp was intense. Sparring sessions, road work at dawn, strategy meetings, media obligations. Ali was living and breathing boxing 24 hours a day, focused completely on February 25th, on shocking the world, on becoming heavyweight champion of the world. Then on February 18th, 1 week before the fight, something unexpected happened, something that stayed secret for decades, something Ali rarely talked about, something that almost nobody knew, until now. It was 2 a.m. Ali was asleep in his room at the training camp, had been asleep for hours, exhausted from training, needed rest, needed recovery, big fight coming. Every hour of sleep mattered. Every moment of rest was crucial for preparation. A knock on his door. Quiet, tentative, not aggressive. Ali woke up confused. Who was knocking at 2 a.m? What was the emergency? Was something wrong? Was the fight canceled? Was there bad news? He opened the door. Standing there in the dim hallway light were 4 young men with British accents. Looked familiar, but Ali's brain wasn't fully awake yet. Then recognition hit. The Beatles, the biggest band in the world. John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Ringo Starr, standing outside his door at 2 a.m. "Sorry to wake you," John Lennon said, voice quiet, almost shy. "We tried to visit during the day, but your people said no media, no distractions. You were training. We leave Miami tomorrow morning early. This was our only chance. Hope that's okay. We can go if you want. Just wanted to meet you before we left." Ali was wide awake now. The Beatles wanted to meet him, had come at 2 a.m. because it was their only chance, had risked disturbing him to say hello. The biggest band in the world thought Muhammad Ali was worth losing sleep over. "Come in," Ali said. "Of course, come in. I'm awake now anyway." The 4 Beatles walked into Ali's small room. Simple space, bed, chair, training equipment in the corner. Nothing fancy, nothing glamorous. Just a fighter preparing for the most important night of his life. They sat down in the cramped quarters, Ali on the bed, the Beatles finding space on chairs and the floor. No cameras present, no managers hovering, no handlers interfering, no press documenting. Just 5 extraordinary young men in their early 20s, all at the absolute peak of their emerging powers, all about to change the world in fundamentally different ways, all carrying weight and pressure that nobody else could truly understand or relate to. "We saw you on television recently," Paul McCartney said, breaking the initial awkwardness. "The way you talk to reporters, the confidence, the poems predicting rounds, the absolute certainty about yourself. Nobody's ever seen anything like you in sports. You're doing with boxing what we're trying to do with music. Being yourself completely, not caring what conservative people think, just being authentic and refusing to apologize for it." "People hate me for it," Ali said honestly, voice vulnerable in a way he never was publicly. "Say I talk way too much, say I'm arrogant beyond belief, say I'm disrespectful to champions, say I need to be humble like other fighters, say Liston's gonna teach me a brutal lesson, going to shut my mouth permanently, going to humble me in front of the world, going to expose me as all talk." "People hate us too," George Harrison said with understanding. "Say our hair's ridiculously too long, say our music's corruptingly too loud, say we're a terrible influence on youth, say we're corrupting innocent teenagers, say we need to be humble and respectful, say rock and roll is going to destroy civilized society, say we're destroying moral values. We understand completely what you're dealing with. We're dealing with the exact same thing from different directions. The conversation flowed naturally after that initial connection. 5 young men who deeply understood pressure, understood impossible expectations, understood being constantly in the unforgiving spotlight, understood having the entire world watching and judging, understood being viciously criticized for being different, for being themselves, for being authentic when everyone wanted them to conform to something safer and more acceptable. They talked for hours about everything, about fame and its costs, about pressure and managing it, about fear and facing it, about confidence and maintaining it, about believing in yourself when literally everyone else doubts you, about carrying the crushing weight of massive expectations, about changing culture without intending to, about being accidental revolutionaries, about just being themselves and having that simple authenticity somehow become revolutionary and threatening to the established order. "Are you genuinely scared?" John Lennon asked with characteristic directness. Honest, unflinching, about the fight, about facing Liston. "Everyone in America says he's going to kill you, literally kill you in the ring." Terrified, Ali admitted with stunning honesty. First time he'd said it out loud to anyone. "Every single time I think about actually getting in that ring with him, I'm scared. He's bigger than me, stronger than me, more experienced than me, hits harder than anyone in history, has destroyed every opponent, and everyone except me thinks I'm going to lose badly. Everyone thinks I'm delusional. Scared in a way I've never been before." "We're scared every single time we go on stage," John said quietly. "Every television appearance, every massive concert, every press interview. Scared we'll fail spectacularly. Scared we're not actually good enough. Scared this is the moment everyone suddenly realizes we're complete frauds. Scared the magic will just disappear. Scared we'll be exposed. But we do it anyway, go out there anyway, because the fear means it matters deeply, means we care, means we're genuinely alive and taking real risks." "How do you handle it personally?" Ali asked with genuine vulnerability. "The fear, the overwhelming pressure, the impossible expectations from millions of people." "We handle it together," Paul said thoughtfully. "We're not alone in it. When one of us is scared, the others are strong. When one doubts, the others believe firmly. We lift each other up constantly. That's how we survive this. That's how we don't break under the weight." "I'm alone in this," Ali said, vulnerability fully showing now. "In that ring, it's just me against him. Nobody can help me once that bell rings. Nobody can fight for me or protect me. Just me and Liston. And literally everyone watching thinks I'm going to get destroyed, thinks I'm delusional, thinks he's going to put me in the hospital, or worse." Ringo spoke up quietly. "But you're not really alone though, are you? Everyone who doesn't fit in, everyone who's been told they can't, everyone who refuses to be what society demands, they're all watching you, believing in you, needing you to win. You're fighting for all of them too, not just yourself." That hit Ali hard. Could see it in his face. The realization that his fight was bigger than himself, that he represented something, that people needed him to try, to have courage, to refuse to back down. That his authenticity and confidence and refusal to be humble wasn't just about him, was about showing others they could be authentic too. John Lennon moved closer, sat next to Ali on the bed, looked directly at him. What he said next was quiet, private, meant just for Ali. Nobody else in the room could hear it clearly. John leaned in, whispered something. Whatever John Lennon whispered in that moment, it hit Ali like nothing ever had. His eyes filled with tears. Actual tears. Muhammad Ali, the man who never showed weakness, never showed vulnerability, never let anyone see him crack, was crying. The room went silent. The other Beatles looked away, gave Ali space, gave him privacy, respected the moment. Whatever John had said was profound, was personal, was exactly what Ali needed to hear at exactly the right moment. Ali wiped his eyes, composed himself, looked at John. "Faith you, I needed to hear that, needed someone to say that, needed to know someone understood." What did John Lennon whisper in that transformative moment? What specific words could make Muhammad Ali cry? The man who faced the most feared and dangerous fighter in the world without any visible fear. The man who talked endlessly and confidently about being the greatest. The man who projected invincibility constantly. What could possibly reduce him to tears in front of near strangers? For decades afterward, absolutely nobody knew. Ali never told anyone what was said, never shared it in interviews, never wrote about it. John never told anyone, never mentioned it publicly, never referenced it in songs or interviews. The other three Beatles weren't close enough to hear the whispered words clearly. It remained intensely private, sacred, a secret between two young men at the peak of their powers, both carrying impossible weights that nobody else could fully understand or share. Then, in December 1980, unimaginable tragedy struck without warning. John Lennon was murdered, shot multiple times outside his apartment building in New York City, gone suddenly at 40 years old, cut down in his prime. The world mourned collectively. Music died that day in a profound way it never fully recovered from. Ali was absolutely devastated by the news. Called John's widow Yoko Ono immediately. Told her through tears that he'd lost a genuine friend. Told her John had said something profound to him once, something that changed his entire life trajectory, something that gave him strength when he desperately needed it most, something that helped him beat Liston against all odds, something that helped him become champion, something that helped him survive the hardest and most frightening moment of his entire career. Yoko asked gently what John had said, what words had affected Ali so deeply. Ali told her, and she began crying immediately, said it was exactly what John would say, said it was pure John Lennon essence, said it showed who John really was beneath all the fame and the music and the carefully crafted public persona, showed his wisdom and empathy and understanding of human struggle. But Ali respectfully asked Yoko to keep it private, said it was sacred, said some profoundly meaningful things should remain between the people who experienced them firsthand, said John had given him an irreplaceable gift, and that gift shouldn't be commodified or publicized or turned into a headline, should remain what it was, a private moment of genuine human connection between two souls who understood each other at a level almost nobody else could. Yoko honored that heartfelt request completely, never revealed what John had whispered, never shared the secret with journalists or biographers, never wrote about it, never mentioned it in interviews. For 40 long years, it remained absolutely private, sacred, protected, until 2020. In 2020, 40 years after John's tragic murder and 4 years after Ali's death from Parkinson's disease, Yoko finally revealed publicly what John Lennon had whispered to Muhammad Ali at 2 a.m, 1 week before the Liston fight that changed boxing history forever. John had leaned in close to Ali, close enough that his breath touched Ali's ear, and whispered with absolute sincerity, "You're not alone in this. I know you feel completely alone. I know everyone's against you. I know you think the whole world wants to see you fail. I know the pressure feels absolutely impossible. But you're not alone. Millions of young people around the world are watching you, are believing in you, are seeing themselves in you. Every young person who's been told they're not good enough, every young person who's been told to be quiet and know their place, every young person who's been told they can't achieve their dreams, they're all with you in spirit. You win, they win. You show the world they're wrong about you. You show the world they're wrong about all of us. So you're not alone in that ring. You're carrying all of us with you, millions of us, and we believe in you. Even if you lose, we still believe in you, because you had the courage to try. That's what really matters, not winning or losing. having the courage to try when everyone says you can't. That's what makes you great already. Those specific words, whispered at 2 in the morning by John Lennon, made Muhammad Ali cry, because they were precisely and exactly what he needed to hear in that moment. Because they were profoundly true. Because they reframed absolutely everything. This wasn't just about boxing technique or physical ability. Wasn't just about beating Sonny Liston in a prize fight. Was about representing everyone who'd been counted out by society. Everyone who'd been told no their entire lives. Everyone who'd been told they weren't good enough or smart enough or talented enough. Everyone who'd been told to accept their place and stop reaching for more. Ali carried those powerful words into the ring with him. 1 week later, February 25th, 1964, against Sonny Liston, the most feared man in boxing, and he won. Shocked the entire world. Became heavyweight champion at 22 years old. Not alone like he'd felt, carrying millions with him, just exactly like John had told him. The weight that had felt crushing became empowering. The isolation became connection. The fear became courage. After the shocking victory, Ali tried desperately to reach the Beatles. Wanted to thank them personally. Wanted to tell John his words had mattered profoundly, had literally made the difference, had carried him through the fear, had reminded him why he was fighting. But the Beatles were already gone, back to England, back to their own impossible pressures and struggles, their own battles with fame and expectation, their own cultural revolution happening across the Atlantic. The two groups of young revolutionaries went their separate ways after that magical night. Both changed the world fundamentally in their respective fields. Both faced immense pressure that would have crushed most people. Both dealt with fame and criticism and impossible expectations. Both stayed authentic despite everything. Both refused to be what others desperately wanted them to be. Both paid prices for their authenticity, but never compromised. The secret visit remained mostly unknown to the public for decades. A few insiders knew the Beatles had visited Ali's Miami training camp briefly. But the 2 a.m. meeting, the hours of intimate conversation, John's whispered words of encouragement, Ali's tears, Ali's vulnerability, that stayed secret, private, sacred, protected by everyone who knew, until Yoko revealed it publicly. 4 decades after John's senseless murder, 4 years after Ali's death from the Parkinson's that slowly stole his voice and movement. Both men gone now. Both legacies secure and unassailable. Both remembered forever as revolutionaries who fundamentally changed their fields and refused to compromise their authentic selves. The revelation showed something profoundly important about strength and vulnerability. Showed that even the greatest feel fear, feel alone, feel overwhelmed, need encouragement, need someone to tell them they matter, that they're not alone, that people believe in them even when it seems nobody does. Muhammad Ali wasn't invincible, wasn't fearless, wasn't always supremely confident, was deeply human, was scared, was carrying impossible weight on young shoulders, felt alone against the world. And John Lennon saw that with remarkable clarity, understood it from his own experience, spoke directly to it with wisdom beyond his years, gave Ali exactly what he needed at exactly the right moment. A reminder that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's trying anyway. It's carrying others with you. It's knowing your struggle represents something bigger than yourself. That's the real story here. Not just that the Beatles visited Muhammad Ali, that 2 young revolutionaries connected deeply, that John Lennon had the profound wisdom at only 23 years old to know exactly what Muhammad Ali needed to hear in his darkest moment of doubt, that those whispered words at 2 in the morning carried a frightened young fighter through the biggest fight of his life and helped change boxing forever. Years later, in one of his final interviews before Parkinson's made speaking difficult, Ali was asked about meaningful moments in his life, moments that shaped him, He mentioned the Lennon visit without elaborating. John Lennon told me something once that I carried with me forever. Can't tell you what he said. It's private. But it changed everything. Made me understand I wasn't just fighting for myself, was fighting for everyone who needed someone to believe in. That changed how I saw everything. Made me understand my responsibility was bigger than boxing. John understood that. He was carrying the same thing. We understood each other. The lesson resonates powerfully today, perhaps more than ever. Everyone faces moments of profound doubt, moments of consuming fear, moments of feeling completely alone against impossible odds, moments when the pressure feels absolutely overwhelming, when everyone seems against you, when you're about to face something that genuinely terrifies you. In those moments, remember John's wisdom. You're not alone. You're carrying everyone who believes in you, everyone who sees themselves in you, everyone who needs you to try. Win or lose, trying matters. Having courage matters. Being authentic matters. Representing something bigger than yourself matters. If this story moved you deeply, share it with someone facing their own impossible moment, someone who feels alone, someone who needs to know that courage isn't fearlessness, it's trying anyway. Subscribe for more untold stories about Muhammad Ali and the unexpected connections that shaped history in ways nobody knew. And remember, the Beatles visited Muhammad Ali at 2 a.m, 1 week before he shocked the world. John Lennon whispered words that made Ali cry, words about not being alone, words about carrying millions with him, words about courage being the willingness to try, words that helped him become champion and changed boxing forever. That's the transformative power of human connection at the exact right moment. That's what it means to lift each other up. That's how we survive impossible moments together.